Hongshan Prehistoric Materials, Animal Horns and Pangolin Scales. Regarding the authentication of genuine Hongshan artifacts through prehistoric tool marks that cannot be replicated, I would like to once again share the research findings of the Huaxia Hongshan Culture Research Association, one tool mark within a tool mark. Within the grid-like diagonal patterns or ordinary grooves on Hongshan artifacts, there are vertically carved U-shaped gouges. This is the first type of prehistoric tool mark, known as the tool mark within a tool mark. 2. Jump cut technique. Within the extremely fine grooves found on the emblematic motifs of the Liangzhou cultural branch, totemic designs were engraved using a peculiar discontinuous cutting method. This is the second type of tool mark, called the jump cut technique. 3. Feather tool mark. Characters or decorative motifs on Liangzhou artifacts were carved with feather-like patterns. This is the third type of tool mark, known as the feather tool mark. 4. V-joint tool mark. The diagonal grid patterns on Hongshan artifacts interlock like mortise and tenon joints in a V-shaped arrangement. This remarkable feature is the fourth type of tool mark, the V-joint tool mark. 5. Shallow relief carving. Extremely thin carvings, almost like printed designs, appear on the surface of jade artifacts. Even more astonishingly, the motifs remain smooth and unaffected by mineralization. This is the fifth type of tool mark, known as shallow relief carving. 6. Cloth-lined tool mark. Within a tiny circular area only about 2 cm in diameter, divine or Buddhist motifs were engraved using parallel horizontal lines. This extraordinarily delicate technique is the sixth type of tool mark, called the cloth-line tool mark. 7. Straight-line tool mark. Grooves found in areas such as I-frames on Hongshan artifacts often contain parallel straight lines resembling those inside tiny holes. This unusual feature is the seventh type of tool mark, known as the straight-line tool mark. 8. Oblique tool mark. The inner surfaces of Hongshan ring-shaped artifacts are composed of numerous parallel oblique lines at different angles. Together they form the distinctive eighth type of tool mark, the oblique tool mark. 9. Straight-lined borehole mark. Within the perforations of Hongshan artifacts, one finds parallel straight-line patterns rather than spiral drill marks. Even a plain artifact can be identified as Hongshan if it contains this feature. This is the ninth type of tool mark, known as the straight-lined borehole mark. 10. Layered tool mark. Certain Liangzhou inscriptions display unusual overlapping upper and lower layers of carving. This constitutes the 10th type of tool mark, called the layered tool mark. 11. Circular pattern tool mark. On the surfaces of jade and meteorite artifacts, overlapping circular drilling patterns were used to create recessed areas or grooves, enhancing the three-dimensional appearance of motifs. This extraordinary feature is the 11th type of tool mark, known as the circular pattern tool mark. 12. Shell-like relief tool mark. The surfaces of Hongshan artifacts often display lightly scratched patterns resembling seashells, spread across the entire object. This is the 12th type of tool mark, called the shell-like relief tool mark. Through the study of Hongshan tool marks, the Huaxia Hongshan Culture Research Association has reportedly identified more than 140 types of Hongshan materials. Today, we would like to share our research on artifacts carved from animal horns and on pangolin scales. One example is a sun god artifact carved from bovine horn. The grooves throughout the object clearly display the tool mark within a tool mark, as well as the straight-line tool mark and straight-lined borehole mark. It is therefore regarded as a standard and authentic Hongshan artifact. Next is a rhinoceros horn cup. The characteristic tool mark within a tool mark is clearly visible, which, according to this interpretation, demonstrates not only its identity as a Hongshan artifact but also suggests that later rhinoceros horn drinking vessels originated from Hongshan culture. As I have previously mentioned, Hongshan artifacts depicting deities or Buddhist figures were often carved using the cloth-line tool mark. Please take a closer look at this Buddhist amulet carved from antelope horn. Beyond the beautiful motifs visible to the naked eye, when high-resolution photographs are enlarged to examine the tool marks, one discovers an astonishing level of detail. The cloth-lined tool mark, considered characteristic of sacred and religious objects, can clearly be seen, demonstrating an almost miraculous level of craftsmanship. Another name for pangolin scales is Qilin scales. Some of these so-called Qilin scales are as large as a human palm. Modern pangolins are relatively small, making it difficult to find scales of such size today. Moreover, these objects also display the characteristic Hongshan tool mark within a tool mark. According to traditional accounts, some tomb robbers would grind pangolin scales into powder and consume them. It was believed that after taking such Qilin scales, snakes, mosquitoes, ants, and other insects would avoid the person. Qilin scales were also used as medicinal ingredients and were regarded as extremely valuable materials in traditional medicine. Since pangolin scales cover the entire body including the head, limbs, torso, and tail, each scale differs in shape, size, and curvature according to its location on the animal. In addition, the surfaces of pangolin scales naturally contain numerous parallel linear striations running in a single direction. Although the scales shown in the photographs have been carved, traces of these lines can still be faintly observed. Fresh pangolin scales are typically dark gray or dark brown in color. Why, then, are the specimens in our collection so transparent and lustrous upon close inspection? Some portions of the scales still appear dark gray or brown. It is estimated that over the passage of long periods of time, pigments may have gradually diminished, resulting in greater transparency and translucency. Did you know that many historical artifacts and symbolic motifs have been passed down from the prehistoric Hongshan civilization without authentication through the 12 non-replicable prehistoric tool marks identified by the Huaxia Hongshan Culture Research Association? These artifacts would not be properly recognized and attributed to their rightful origins.